What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. So, back by popular demand, we have the normal difficulty clear by Godseeker Aniri. I know a lot of you guys are not quite at hard difficulty Centranos, but are stuck on normal difficulty Centranos. We had a small discussion about it in the comments, and it was up my turn to try to do this on normal. There is a little bit of discrepancy between the build that works on hard Centranos with Godseeker compared to what works on normal difficulty. So I'll share with you guys what I found, and I'll show you guys what is probably the lowest build requirement to complete the Amius on this normal difficulty. All right, so we're gonna run this at 2x speed and then just let go. So basically the trick with Amius is you have to maintain your HP pool so that your heals don't trigger his heal attack. You also need enough recovery to basically recover enough health to survive his A1 hit right after you revive yourself. The other trick is you need to have enough speed so that you can cycle back to your passive revive fast enough to have it available when Amius uses his really hard hitting single target attack. So there's a couple things that need to happen here. So for hard difficulty, Amius is actually 250 speed, and for normal difficulty, Amius is 200 speed. So based on that, Amius can be defeated on hard difficulty with a minimum of 250 speed. So for normal difficulty, the minimum speed requirement is 200 speed on your Godseeker Aniri. If you have more speed, there's nothing wrong with it. You probably have more instances of healing, so you could have a lower HP pool, for example. You might be able to recover a bit faster if you were really fast. I would say anywhere from 200 to 250 is totally fine. I don't see anything negative with having a bit more speed. With a bit more speed, you will cycle more attacks into Amius, so you might be able to kill him faster. Your damage fully comes from War Master. If you have Phantom Touch on your Godseeker, you will do some extra damage that way, although Phantom Touch doesn't really deal that much damage relative to War Master, for example, but of course a little bit helps here and there. If you have counterattack accessories, the ones you buy from the clan shop with clan gold, that will also help with speeding up the run a little bit as well, since chances of counterattack also give chances to proc War Master, for example. Otherwise, this run is a full auto run. That's why I like it. I don't really care about how long it takes, as long as I don't need to intervene in any way and it's very successful and consistent. I assume most of you guys would appreciate that. Just click go or click start and walk away, make some food, do laundry or whatever, and then come back and it's all done. Obviously, there are other solo ways to tackle this. Godseeker is actually really, really good for this because her passive has boosting for heals, which makes it a lot easier to build her out. Also, her passive revive is only 4 turns. There's other champions with revive on death mechanics that are a little bit more difficult than Godseeker to build out. But Godseeker, I hope, is minor tweaks from your Sand Devil Godseeker, and it should work no problem here against the normal or hard difficulty. But we'll go over the stats and stats on this completion afterwards, and I'll give you guys my minimum budget requirements once this is over. So let's run this through, and I'll see you guys at the end of the run. All right, so I want to point out something here. So once she revives, you'll notice that her health pool is very low, and then she'll be able to recover her health. So once you get to the stage where he is in his healing form, so not his non-DPS form, he should only be using his A1 attack. And the way you basically keep him from using only his A1 attack is basically keep your HP pool from getting too high. So I think as long as you're not full HP, he won't go for his healing move. So you see here, Godseeker is basically hovering around 50-60% HP. Right there after the A2, he heals up to about just under 70%. But the Amius never uses the healing ability, which is what you want to avoid. And this is basically done by keeping your own health pool in check so that your heals are not so big. But yeah, otherwise, having more defense on her helps mitigate some of the damage from the A1 smacks. So these hits here. So you see he's doing about 13,000 when he crits. Non-crits are about 7,500. I played around with the defense stat a little bit with her. And it's not advisable to go with big health pool, lower defense. So you'd rather go with lower health pool, bigger defense, if that makes sense. If you guys were stepping into hard Centranos and paying attention to the stat requirements for hard Centranos is roughly about 50k HP, 5k defense, and 250 speed. I would say that's probably the bare minimum. For normal difficulty, it's a lot. It's a little bit easier, but it's still not super easy, I would say. So I think here, I think this attempt, Amius actually dies during the eclipse situation. So basically, when Amius is killed, when he has this buff on him, the eclipse buff, he will come back with 30% HP. It just basically prolongs the fight a little bit. So you see here, he has the eclipse buff. But we're pretty good in terms of turn count. So we'll probably have at least like 2 revives until we run out of turn count. Keep in mind that the turn count is 1500. That's the max turn count. So you see here, he's getting pretty low. I think he does die during the eclipse. I think. Does he? Yes, he does. So a little bit unfortunate there that we got a little bit of bad luck. Took 550 turns, 16 minutes to kill him, basically, if we had some good RNG with the Eclipse buff. But yeah, so this is full auto, like I said. We end up killing him. Luckily killing him here. Just outside of the Eclipse buff. So about 21 minutes with the Eclipse buff. 685 turns. This time is much faster than the hard difficulty. On my hard difficulty, it was like over 700 turns. But I was also running Phantom Touch on this Godseeker. So Phantom Touch does speed it up a little bit. Like I would say 10%, 10-50% faster. But yeah, the Phantom Touch doesn't deal that much damage. It's about 10% of a War Master hit, which I guess, yeah, it stacks up over time. So let's jump into the gear for this Godseeker. So here's the Godseeker that I was using. It has to be regen set, unfortunately. You could try for a 6-piece Immortal set. It might be enough, but I don't think so. I don't think so. You wouldn't be able to heal enough as quickly, so you would need to compensate with more stats. So it wouldn't be as easy as having just a regen set. So here are the total stats here. I ran 220 speed, 47.5k HP, 5.2k defense. Like I said, the defense helps mitigate the incoming damage that you take, so you could have a little bit of a lower health pool. Initially, I ran Godseeker with 40k HP and 4k defense and 200 speed. I thought that would be the bare minimum that would get through normal, but it actually didn't work. So 40k HP didn't work. 4k defense definitely didn't work. So I tried 40k HP with 4.5k defense and about 200 speed. Didn't work. I ran a bit over 40k HP, like 43k HP, and closer to 5k defense. Still didn't work. Finally, I made this last upgrade, and I went just over 5k defense, and I did just over 45k HP and about 200 speed. And at that point, it was very dicey, and the Godseeker actually died at the end, like near the end. So I saw the run, it was like 12 minutes or something, and then she died. I can only imagine that she probably died from an unlucky crit or an unlucky several crits. So that's 45k HP and 5k defense. So I upped it just slightly to what you see currently. And yeah, we got it done. So I want to say, if you want to try it, it's going to be at least 45k HP, 5k defense. You can give that a try, but I'm pretty confident that 9 out of 10 times you won't be able to complete it. So yeah, I would say these are probably the minimum stats. You're probably looking for 47k and about 55.1k defense, or maybe 46k HP and 5.2k defense. Somewhere around there would be the minimums we're talking about here. Of course, we take War Master here. No changes from the Hearts and Trandos. We take War Master. And yeah, the counterattack masteries are fine. You get extra War Masters and stuff like that. So they all work. You want Shadow Heal here for sure. And then you want improved parry here for reduction on the crit damages. Yeah, it's basically just trying to mitigate against those big crits from Amius. And then if you can do that, your heals should cover his non-crits, no problem. And then you should never die because your speed is matching his speed. So you always heal once per one of his attacks. And if he doesn't crit, then your heals will out heal his hit basically. But of course, he will crit once in a while, and you need enough buffer to withstand it. So that's why there's, got to be some buffer applied. So I didn't have an amulet for this run because I wanted to lower the stats as much as possible to make it more viable for people so people can get a better idea of what they need. The stats are pretty close to what you need to do hard Centranos, maybe a couple more K HP. If you add an amulet here, it's probably enough to do hard Centranos. But yeah, like I said, 47k HP, 5.2k defense on my Aniri, got it done, no problem, full auto, no intervention or anything like that. You can try 45k HP, 5k defense, but it's going to be probably dicey. It might require your manual intervention. But yeah, anyways, hopefully that was helpful for you guys struggling with normal Centranos. If you have Aniri, congratulations. She's crazy in all content. And yeah, I apologize that it's going to be Aniri again. I did try a couple different other champions, like for example here, Basilisk. Basilisk has a 5-turn revive on death, but Basilisk's stats are not as good. He's hard to keep alive, and he doesn't have Aniri's passive ability, which increases the healing. So it's a little bit harder to make Basilisk work. I couldn't make him work there. But yeah, so it's going to be another Godseeker full clear here with Amius. So hopefully that's helpful for some of you guys out there. I know you guys were asking for it, so here it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video.